am continuing my Erin Condren adventure for the new 2018-19 academic layout planners. Well, I got a story to tell you though, but I'm going to tell it right after we start. Hi everybody, today I'm going to be looking at two Erin Condren planners for the new 2018-19 academic layout. They are the neutral vertical and the neutral horizontal. Now, I have a bit of a story to tell you. As some of you know, if you watch my last Erin Condren planner flip through video, I accidentally ordered the colorful hourly instead of the neutral, but I had decided I didn't think I was going to use the hourly in the new July planner because of the dark lines on it, but I ordered the wrong one. So I decided to order the Erin Condren neutral vertical to take a look at to decide if maybe that's what I'm going to use. It's what I started with because that was the only layout they had, and I thought maybe because it's neutral, I'll be able to go back to it. Fun fact, I ordered this planner, it came, it was colorful. Now, this time, it wasn't my fault. This time, it was a mistake that they made, so I contacted them, sent back the colorful guts, got the neutral guts, and here they are. And then in the meantime, I was regretting picking the vertical because then I thought maybe I'd want to go back to the horizontal because I've been feeling that way lately. So I ordered this guy, the neutral horizontal, which came and it was neutral, and I was like, oh, thank God. So now I have these two to look at, neutral vertical, neutral horizontal. We're going to take a look at both of them. And I'm going to give you my thoughts as to what planner I think I'm going to use in July, but spoiler alert, I haven't decided yet. Before I do, I will show you the couple of things that I got in with my order of the horizontal. This one is the Woven Wonder. That's what it's actually called. It's I've been referring to it as the woven wheats or the shredded wheat pattern, which is the new kind of overall pattern for these planners. I will say, like I said before, the dark color, the one on the navy that you get on the bags, and it was the original pattern, not a big fan of, but on the white, I think it is absolutely stunning. So I ordered one of these sticker sheets to mess with at some point in the near future. I also ordered these two. I think these are both from the collaboration with Oh Joy. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on that. But they're both really pretty. They're soft colors I like. Now, in the past, I haven't liked the darker versions of these sheets because they're hard. You can't write on top of a lot of them. But my style of planning has changed a little bit since I started using a bullet journal and a planner in tandem with each other, and it gives me more space to use stickers that I don't necessarily need to write on, but I'm just putting them there for the color. And both of these patterns drew my eye. This is the new edition of the classic sticker book, and I really love these. I do use them. I don't use them up, but I do use them. And I want to take a look at this one really quick, and then we will move into the planners. One of the things I like about these sticker books is that there's a lot of foil, and this one apparently has clear stickers. I love the watercolory with the foil. It looks like there isn't quite so much repetition in this one. Before, in some of these sticker books, you would get 3 different kinds of layouts because it would be silver gold and rose gold foil, and it looks like here they're not quite sticking to that, which I think is pretty cool. Gives you an opportunity for more variety. These stickers are like that soft, matte papery finish. These ones feel a little bit more slick. They're not glossy per se, but they're slick. And I see why. These are clear. These have color. These are all colorful stickers, but the paper in and of itself, I don't know if you can see that, is clear. I was wondering when the silver foil was going to pop up. I had seen a lot of gold and rose gold, but not a lot of silver. And I was like, well, what the hell, man? Did the platinum foil get dissed? But no, we've got some here. Looks like some of these are some more clear stickers. And what I really like is that some of these are foiled on clear. And I think that's sexy. I'm sorry if you hear the sirens. Apparently they're a fixture of life here where I live. More silver and paper. And then these all are clear and foiled as well. I love this. I think I'm going to use the shit out of this sticker book, so that makes me excited. I will say, though, it doesn't open easily. These pages are starting to separate. Okay, now we're going to start talking about these two planners. First things first. I do not like the choice I made for this cover. I picked a purple. I wasn't sure. I wanted to do something different than what I can't even remember now. Whatever this pattern is, purple color, I think it's orchid. Not a good choice for me. Aesthetically, I think, and I've usually done pretty well with my cover choices, especially with the preview feature, but this just looked a lot prettier to me on the website than it does in person. So it's not a cover. If I do decide to go with this planner, I don't think this cover is going to be one I bust out very often. This candy dot cover, on the other hand, I love. I got this with just the multicolored designer pick, and I think it is super pretty. It is very clean looking. I feel like it almost looks school-like, like elementary school-like, but there's just something about it that really appeals to me right now. So I thought I'd mention that. So let's take a look really quick through the planner. I'm not going to go super hard on super hard. I'm only going to flip completely through this one, which is the vertical, I believe. But I will look at each layout next to each other because these are both neutral. They both have the same basic setup. It's just the layout that's different. So I'm not going to, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go completely through both of them. Here is the vellum with the black and white version of the woven wheats. This inside page is colorful and it gives you your quote, but I want to see something. I do like how with the vertical, you get the inside quote on the white with the colorful wheat, because this wheat is on the navy and it's not, as I've said, not my favorite. So that is one thing I do enjoy about the neutral. By the way, I do love this color, this cover. I guess this would be just a good idea to compare the colorful to the neutral while I have it out. I might as well just do that. Okay, here we go. So here for the calendar for the whole of July through the end of 2019. And it's got no decoration. There's no decoration, no color. With the colorful, there is the colorful decoration along the top. Similar to a lot of things, they both have the decoration on top, but the neutral is black and this is colorful. And then these boxes do not have the colorful like little bars on them. And I know that these sort of coordinate with the colors later in the month, even though there's no month names on it. And like I said in that video, regardless of what planner I pick, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this page. Now, one thing I remember from this year is that the flags in the colorful are a different size than the flags in the neutral, and that has not changed. They both have the notes page, which I'm excited to get back, rather than the one with the circles on it. But the neutral has a smaller flag than the colorful. Now, they're the same quote, but here you have basically, it's the same kind of color per month, but here the color is the focus and here the color is the accent. I could have lived with the colorful monthly. It has the bar across the top. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but I could have lived with this. But I will tell you, I absolutely adore the neutral monthly spread because of how basic it is. I will say the one real issue I run into, and this is something that you don't run into with the colorful, but you do here, is that here there's not a definition of the edges of the calendar. So like if you look down the side here and across the bottom, and same over here, there's no line there. So if you're cutting off washi tape, which seems like first world problems, which it is, but I use a shit ton of washi every month because I'm marking custody trips, mostly custody, like guaranteed every month I'm marking washi tape to show my custody of my kids. For someone like me who wants things to be like nice and kind of neatly laid out, having to eyeball where to cut your washi tape off is not ideal. And I know I could pencil a line in, but I don't like to fucking use pencil, and I could probably use a ruler, but it would be so much easier if the whole calendar was blocked off the way this one is with the lines on the sides. Like that's something that I prefer from the colorful to the neutral, but that's not a big enough deal for me to want to go to the colorful, because for me the drawbacks of the colorful are high enough that that shit really doesn't matter all that much. The other difference you'll notice here is that there's a little bar for the top of the notes, and here it's one of like the flaggy looking situations. Now we're into the layout. Now I'm not going to compare the horizontal to the vertical right now. This is the big deal breaker for me from the colorful to the neutral. I can cover these little flags up. I hate having to cover up this decoration, and that's something that I had to do with the colorful last year when it was the Dalmatian print pattern, or the petals or whatever it was. I spent the first month I was in there covering everything up with washi tape, and I did not like having to do that. And so, you could say, Cindy, you don't really have to, but I love to do my spreads in like monochromatic or colorful. However, whatever colors I choose, I want those to be the colors. I don't want to have the pre-arbitrated colors in the planner fucking with my life. So having these little flags to cover up is a lot easier than covering. Oh my God, the cat jumped up right behind me and just scared the living shit out of me. Yeah, kitty. Holy crap. Now, the thing I love about the neutral vertical is that there is no color in each box as like a header. For those of you who remember back in the day, the Erin Condren planners used to have a morning, afternoon, and evening header in these boxes, and people would cover them up. Now they just have, in the colorful, they just have a bar that's like a kind of an ombre effect going from one to the other. And in the neutral, they have none. And that's something that would make me think about going to the vertical, because I think that this is nice and clean looking and it's something that I really like. I'm not sure yet though. Another difference I'm noticing here, and I don't know if this is between the vertical and the hourly or whether it's a difference between the colorful and the neutral. I think it's the vertical and the hourly. This to-do list has the little circles to check off, and this one just has lines. The box looks about the same size. I have used the hourly almost this entire year. It had those little circles. I never use them. I ignore them, and I just use the lines as I choose. And there's still the little 3 or whatever lines down here on the bottom, and I like that as well. Each month has a different quote. I love how soft the pattern is behind these quotes. Like I said, when it was super bold with like the navy, not my thing, but on the white, especially with this softness, I find it very appealing, this wheat pattern. The one thing I will notice, though, is that while the colors are very similar, the colorful version is much more concentrated or saturated than the neutral. So these are the same tone of green, basically, but this one is much more vibrant and saturated, and this one is more muted, which I think works for me more because I prefer muted colors over bright colors. But they're basically the same color, just different saturations of the two. Another difference is that for the neutral, when you get to the flag on the notes pages for each individual month, it has the little abbreviation for the month, and on the colorful it's just a large flag in that month's color. Now when you get to the notes pages, the flags here are black for the neutral and they're colorful for the colorful, which makes sense. So there's, as you can see, the difference. They're also the smaller flags to the larger flags. The dot grid pages are exactly the same, and the coloring sheets, the llamas and the palm trees, are exactly the same. Now, the difference between these two contact pages, the Let's Keep, here it's in a rainbow, here it's black and white, and then they're both done in color for the actual little contact parts. But again, as with the neutral versus the colorful, these are brighter and these are more muted. And then similar to the front of the planner, the calendar for the pre-planning for the year after here has color and across the top, and here there's nothing across the top, but it's the same setup otherwise. And true to form, the add page at the end, the neutral has the white background, the colorful has the navy. Now I just want to make sure, I'm pretty sure because that's how it's always been, that the stickers in the back of each of these are the same, but I just want to double check. The stickers are indeed the same. You get 4 sheets of them. You get icons and little flags. You get a bunch of these functional situations, including trackers. You get a bunch of like different illustrations, and then a bunch of event stickers. And then you get to your back pouch. Both of these are foiled. The colorful one has gold foil and the same like navy background, whereas the neutral has like a soft like pink background, like kind of peachy pink with a black, and then here it's black with rose gold foil, which is something I prefer. The perpetual calendar for this one I already pulled out, but it's the same perpetual calendar, but the pocket here is the same teal with the gold, and this is the black with the rose gold. So those are the differences between the colorful and the vertical. I want to look at the layouts of the horizontal neutral versus the hourly or the vertical neutral. And the monthly layouts are exactly the same. So this is the left-hand side of the layout. The first, okay, so there's a lot of differences, but one of the big differences, I guess functionally, is that the horizontal layout is Monday through Thursday on the first page, with their notes section being on the right-hand side. The vertical is Monday through Wednesday on the left-hand side of the page, with notes here and then the 4 days on the other side. It doesn't change your life, but it is worth noting. Now, this horizontal layout does not look much different than when I used it originally, I think a year and a half ago. There's faint lines in it, if that's something that you need. The height of the whole horizontal section is the size of what they used to call the Thankful Thought box in the new layout, but it's shorter than the vertical. So that's something to think about if you're going to use full box stickers. I have used them before on a horizontal, but I've had to turn them on their side or trim them or just fucking live with it. Now on this side, it's the same setup, except the notes here run horizontally rather than vertically. And those are the big differences. The flags on these pages are the same size. However, the neutral horizontal or the neutral hourly flag is a little bit shorter than the neutral flags in these two planners, which are the same size. And I'm not going to do a pen test. I did it in my previous Erin Condren video, and this paper is awesome. It's the same paper from last year. Pretty much any pen will hold up on it. You don't want to use a regular Sharpie on it. You don't want to, if you're going to use a Tombow, you don't want to over layer it, because if it's juicy, it will start to bleed through. But one pass, especially of the lighter colors, works just fine. Ultimately, the real question about this video is, am I going to go with the hourly, not the colorful, but order a neutral? Am I going to go with the vertical? Am I going to go with the horizontal? I'm going to give you my thoughts as they stand right now. They're not fully formed, and I still have over a month before I have to make a decision. I'm leaning towards the horizontal. Why, you might ask? Here's the thing. When I moved into the hourly, the big reason for doing that was because I like to look at my day on a linear scale. Like, here's the start, here's the end, and this is how the day lays out. The bullet journal is used for list keeping and like planning projects and doing challenges, and the Erin Condren was to map out my day. Now that I'm no longer going to be on the board of trustees at my church, I'm going to have other responsibilities there, but I'm no longer going to be doing that. Because I work for myself and I don't do a lot of meetings and shit during the day, generally speaking, sometimes I feel like the vertical or sometimes I feel like the hourly is helpful, but it's not necessary. And because I really hate the darker lines, I hate the darker lines with a fiery passion. I didn't think I was going to hate them. I do hate them. Don't need to use that. I can test one of these out and see how it goes. Now, originally I thought I was going to use the vertical because I could still do kind of a linear day and just set it up differently because it would be in boxes rather than in like one column. But then I was thinking, do I need that? And then I remembered how much I loved using the horizontal artistically for lettering and just like the way I would decorate it. And I would still plan and put like the things in my day that I needed to get done. But I was able to be a little bit more creative in the horizontal than I was in either the hourly or the vertical. And that's one of the things I have discovered in my system of using a bullet journal and using an Erin Condren is that the biggest thing that I get out of using the Erin Condren is it allows me to more decoratively and creatively plan. And the bullet journal, for the most part, is utilitarian, right? Now, that doesn't mean I'm doing challenges, things like that. Those are also creative. But really what I use that for is notes, lists, things like that, scribbles. And the Erin Condren is where I would put in stickers and a lot more washi tape, and I would use lettering. And I would still use it to organize my day. But I had a little bit more freedom to be creative because a lot of the fine details were in the bullet journal. I had somebody ask me on Instagram, if I moved to the horizontal, would there still be a place for the bullet journal in my life? And that's something I'm contemplating because I really love using it. And I can tell you that just because there's lines here and there's some space here doesn't mean that I would have anywhere near as much room as I need in the bullet journal to do all of the things that I do in there if I switch to the horizontal. But it might change how it looks in the bullet journal. I'm not sure. Really, I think what my thought process is right now is that because my time, the way I'm going to need to structure my day is going to look different in July than it does right now. Maybe what I really need to refresh myself creatively is to go into a planner that is more conducive to being creative rather than being so constricted on my time. I'm doing a lot of deep thinking right now about how much I put on myself in terms of being productive, living my best life, making sure that I get all the things done. And I feel like sometimes in the planner community and the bullet journal community, especially the bullet journal community, it feels like there's a lot of emphasis on being organized, getting your shit done. Like that's why we do these things. And to me, sometimes getting your shit done comes at the cost of slowing down and enjoying the shit that you do. And aside from the fact that it's hard to see a lot of those things when you have a chronic illness, which I did in this week's podcast, which I highly recommend you go check out if you want to hear me rant about this more. The point being is that I am really considering on a more meta level changing how I plan my day. I've been very satisfied with the combination that I had in using the Scribbles That Matter bullet planner. While it made me want to go back to my regular system. To be perfectly honest, I've gotten back to my regular system and it hasn't been working for me either. So obviously somewhere in there is a need for a change, and I need to pinpoint what that is. If you would like me to talk more about this concept of trying to pinpoint what changes you need so that you can evolve how you do things, then let me know down below in the comments or give me your tips on how you figure out what works for you. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.